In the season finale of Tulsa King, Dwight Manfred consolidates his power in Tulsa after eliminating Cal Thresher. Bill Bakke demands a share of the spoils, while Chicky and V's homecoming is met with disappointment. The season ends with a shocking twist and an uncertain future for Dwight. At the beginning of Reconstruction, Cal Thresher and Dwight Manfred are talking about the reward for Jackie's murder. The former mafia boss demands all of the businessman's assets, but the businessman is prepared to give a substantial gift instead. He gently reminds his enemy that the weak-willed Thresher has no business ruling the underworld. The businessman realizes that giving up his money is his only option to escape Dwight and save his life. Bill Bakke goes into a frenzy to get half of what his former mafia boss has gotten from the businessman when he becomes the new owner of Thresher Properties in Tulsa following Jimmy the Creek's demise. Dwight tells Bakke that the latter's life is the greatest reward he can offer, but the mobster responds by saying he deserves a significant sum, as he is the one responsible for Thresher's assets falling into the general's hands. Bakke is silently asked by the old mafia boss to return to Kansas City, as he offers 25%. At the same time, a suggestion from Chicky in Vaney appears on an even higher plane. He expresses his regret for dispatching the general to Tulsa and extends a warm welcome to Dwight's return to the New York Mafia. He is not stupid enough to abandon everything he has worked for in his new house, the ex-mafia boss says. Chicky is furious at Dwight's reply and realizes that he needs to get Dwight to rejoin the New York Mafia if he wants to be back in charge of the organization. He meets with Bev Lack in Kansas City to plot the general's demise. As the ex-mafia boss handles Chicky, Mitch, the stick Ayala, takes over Donnie Shaw's car dealership and owns it with pride. In order to promote the new company, he depends on Grace's filmmaking abilities. Dwight and his business associates are captivated by the absurd commercial. Ammon Manit Truey, who had lost his job at the Finerio Ranch, is one of them. At the end of their discussion, Chicky and Bill Bakke decide to murder Dwight Manfred and divide up his Tulsa assets. Each side claims that the other's family has been involved in the game for decades and is thus due the wealth that has been amassing in Oklahoma. While Biva and the general are fighting, Chicky gets killed instead of Dwight. The gangster from Kansas City betrays his friend and ends up saving his enemy's life in an effort to win over the former mafia boss. If he aligns himself with the general, he will rightfully earn half of Cal Thresher's assets as a reward, which he is well aware of. With his extensive expertise, Bakke knows who he can trust, and Chicky might have been at the top of his list of unreliable friends. Knowing that the former mafia capo is easier to handle than his New York counterpart, he refrains from taking immediate action against Dwight following Cal Caputo's death. Unlike with Chicky, he can talk to the general and try to reason with him to get things straightened out. The fact that the latter killed Pete the Rock in Vaney is already common knowledge. Thus, Bakke has no reason to believe the man who killed his own father without hesitation. Consequently, Bev Lack decides to change sides. He has faith that Dwight, being an honest and principled guy, will recognize his efforts with a reward Chicky will not reciprocate in kind. Both Bakke's rule and his family's legacy will come to an end if he assists the foolish leader of the New York Mafia in taking Tulsa. The latter may even go after Kansas City next. He must not gamble the loss of his empire for the sake of a kingdom. The mobster concludes that befriending Dwight is his best course of action in light of these considerations and opportunities. Chicky may not betray Biva, but that doesn't mean they'll both walk away rich. His disastrous performance in the Big Apple compels even his friends to vote him out. Someone of that character cannot be trusted by Biva. In contrast, Dwight is a guaranteed source of revenue. The mobster sees the general as preferable to Chicky because he will protect and grow his empire rather than risk losing it. As Dwight Manfred and his business associates revel in the growth of their endeavors, the FBI conducts a thorough investigation into the case of the former mafia boss. An air of secrecy surrounds the general's detention, adding to the mystery surrounding the sudden surge in interest in him. Subsequently, an anonymous individual informs him that Dwight will be employed by them. Although the FBI's sudden intervention came as a shock, it was actually well anticipated. The Bureau has been quite vocal on multiple occasions, for example, after Tyson nearly killed his associate Bill. Bakke resolves to assassinate Dwight. It seems like the FBI has finally managed to enlist Dwight as an informant to monitor Biva. The bug in the gangster's office is evidence that the agency has been keeping tabs on him for some time. He is based in Kansas City, though not much is revealed about this covert program. In Season 2, the fact that it exists explains why Biva has been pursued by the FBI for quite some time. Since he and Dwight have built such a strong alliance, the police may have thought he would be the ideal informant to expose the gangster's schemes. The FBI has no need to be concerned about Dwight because he has conducted his business in a totally lawful manner. Regarding Biva, that is not true. The agency is keeping tabs on the gangster instead of the former mafia leader, because although his endeavors and projects remain a mystery, one thing is certain: they are extremely illegal. The agent's reliance on Dwight is a result of their inability to quickly penetrate the gangster's empire. Given the tools at their disposal, the FBI probably won't need much time to find dirt to convince Dwight to assist them. Doubts about the identification of the officials involved may be raised by the inexplicable arrest of Dwight. Understandably, the agents cannot make his arrest a public spectacle since the agency plans to utilize him as an informant. If Baki finds out that the general is the FBI's target, he may put up a wall to keep him apart from the general, which would defeat the purpose of the Bureau and explain why the police must catch the ex-mafia boss in secrecy. Finally, Dwight's role in assisting the FBI in their pursuit of Biva may take center stage in the next third season of Tulsa King, which is now under production. A new chapter in the general's life could begin with this surprising alliance, which could even win Tina back to him.